Hey lovelies! As promised, today's video is a health video and it's going to be fibromyalgia and me. So what I'm just going to do is I have some sort of pointers written down in front of me so that I can sort of keep on topic of different things that I want to get in to tell you about how fibromyalgia affects me. I'm not saying that what affects me necessarily affects everybody else around that suffers from this as well. This is just how it affects me. In upcoming videos we will discuss how other people I know are affected, and you'll have the chance as well to let us know how fibromyalgia affects you. So, first thing I have written down in front of me is how long have I had it? Well, this is a good question. I was actually only diagnosed in December of last year. So that was December 2012 when I was 28, I'm 29 now. I was finally diagnosed after years upon years of fighting to try and find out what was wrong with me. I've been living off pain medication from I was 18 years old, so 10 years I was fighting with the doctors to find out exactly what was wrong. So it was only last year, thanks to a friend of mine called Sue. Hi Sue! Whenever I had gotten really bad with pain last year, and it turned out that it was actually more places than I'd really realised, she told me that what I was suffering from sounded like what she was suffering from, and that was the first time I'd ever heard the term fibromyalgia. So I went to my doctor and I said, look, is there any chance that this could be what's wrong with me? So that was in August of last year, and then it was a process of going to see a rheumatologist. So once I'd seen the rheumatologist, then it was just a case of doing some tests, blood tests, and to rule out everything else. It basically, for a lot of the time with fibromyalgia, it's a case of ruling out other things before they'll diagnose you with fibromyalgia. So I was finally diagnosed in December, and we had still been trying to get medication that really suited me, and because I also had problems with nerves and stuff in my right shoulder, which meant that I couldn't lift my arm from this height, I couldn't brush my hair, I could hardly lift a cup some days. Other people had to dry my hair for me, I wasn't able to do that anymore. So I ended up getting a nerve blocker into my shoulder this year. So I'm now going to physio. I can move a wee bit more. The pain is still there now. It was away sort of for about the first 2 weeks after having the injection. We've just gone past the month mark since that, I think, and I can feel the pain back again. It's not as extreme as it once was, but I have a feeling it will get back to that. So anyway, I would say long story short, but it's long story long. The doctors have said that it looks like I've actually had fibromyalgia all of my life. Looking over my medical history and how I was as a child, it looks like things that affected me then was actually fibromyalgia. I mean, we used to think it was funny talking about the old days when I used to stay with my grandmother, and I would be falling asleep into my dinner, and I'd be in bed by 6 o'clock and would be sleeping all night, and that used to seem funny to me. Now whenever I look back on it, I think it's so unfair that nobody knew what this illness was, or even that I even had it. I knew I had a lot of pain growing up, but I didn't realise that that was why. You know, I didn't realise that there was anything wrong with me. People just said, oh, it's growing pains, it's growing pains. But they didn't say that there was anything wrong with having growing pains. So, not that it really makes any difference that I've had it all my life, because we don't know how things would have affected me, and there's no point in dwelling over that and thinking, oh, if I'd known so many years ago I would probably be living better now. We don't know. I could still have had this flare-up that's lasted so long. We're just over the year mark now, 13 months since I got really bad. So anyway, I have written down when and how did it show. Well, I'll talk about how it showed last year. I'll not talk about any of the other pain previous to that. Around last June, I had started realising that my pain medication wasn't working just as well as it should have been, and I was starting to take more than I should have. And I was finding that the work that I was doing. I was a care assistant, a night duty care assistant. I was finding that the work was just too much for me. But I knew that I could do it before. I didn't understand what was happening. So I was off for a fortnight on holiday, and that fortnight off actually made me feel worse than while I was working. And I didn't understand. I didn't realise what was going on. So I went to the doctors, and the doctor gave me a sick line. So I called in sick to work, and I says, look, it's probably going to take a couple of weeks to a month until I get back on my feet. This has happened before with back issues. I'll be back. Famous last words in most films. So that was mine. I never made it back. I ended up going off sick, and unfortunately my illness just got worse and worse and worse, to the point where there was days I couldn't actually get out of bed. My husband would bring me food, he would bring me cups of tea, drinks, my tablets or anything up to the bedroom, so that I didn't actually have to try and come down the stairs to get anything. It was all brought up to me because I couldn't physically get out of bed. There was days where my husband would be trying to wake me from maybe 9 o'clock in the morning, and he'd come back an hour later, an hour after that, an hour after that, an hour after that, and it would still be like talking to a zombie, because I would be really, really drowsy and not able to wake up. That went on for quite a few months, just while we were trying to get the different medications right and things like that. So at the minute, my medication, I am on Tramadol. I'm on 50s of Tramadol. I take between 4 and 8 of those a day for pain. That's every day. I have a morphine patch that I change every 7 days. I have naproxen anti-inflammatories. I'm also on Dulexatine, which is an antidepressant. The reason I went on that was because I'd really noticed that my mood had sunk so low. I was crying every single day. I was really feeling sorry for myself, and that's not me. No matter what I've been through, I've always been, right, get up, get on with it, let's go. And even on days when my body was just knocking the stuffing out of me, I still wanted to be up and about and doing things, but I'd realised that I just wasn't that person anymore, and the slightest thing just made me cry. So I spoke to the doctor, and they decided to put me on Dulexatine then. So I've been on that for a couple of months now, and to be honest with you, I do feel that the depression side of it isn't like it used to be. I'm more bubbly again. I have a bit of a shine to me most days, and I'm enjoying seeing people again. There was a time whenever I was so bad and my mood was just so low that I hated having company, because I knew just having visitors would be tiring me out, and I would end up in so much pain that it just got to the point that I just couldn't be bothered with it all. But now, even though I'll end up in agony after I've had friends over, or I've nipped out with friends, I still want to do it. So that's something that's really changed for me, and I'm really pleased with that. So it's nice to be able to smile again through everything that's going on. And don't get me wrong, I know that I'm not the worst case in the world, or even I know I don't have the worst illness in the world. But there's still those days when you're in such pain, and it's been day after day after day, and you've had no sleep, that you do just get to the point where you just want to bang your head off the wall. For example, last night I got into bed just before midnight, I think it was. It may have been a wee bit later. I was uploading a video. And I lay and lay, and I tossed and I turned, and I took my medication, and I tried to prop myself different ways, and I lifted my iPad out, and I was on YouTube watching different videos, and husband come home from work at about 3:30 or something. 7 o'clock rolled around, I'm still wide awake, so I ended up getting up and coming in here. And this, lucky for me, is my sanctuary. I'll show you pictures of this room another day. I've got lots that's actually going on at the minute. I'm rejigging everything. But I have a bed in here off to the right of where this camera is now. And obviously I have my laptop in here, I have my desk, and I have chairs and everything. So even if I'm in the bed resting, I can have friends come over and sit and chat with me, and they can be sitting on the chairs. I am very blessed in that I have a couple of really, really good friends who have been there for me through so much. I mean, Cheryl is one of the closest friends that I've ever had, and we've been friends for, I think it's nearly 19 years, it's maybe only 18, but we lived facing each other growing up, and still to this day we're very, very close, and she comes and she stays with me. And I mean, some nights I'm just in so much pain where I can't even be bothered having company over, but I'll let her come over anyway, and she'll sit and she'll just rub my head, and it's just the most comforting thing. Doesn't take my pain away, it doesn't make anything different, except that I feel so at ease and so comfortable with it. So I think it takes me back to being a kid and my mum doing it for me. And then there's Lynn. And Lynn, at the drop of the hat, if she's free, would just come over and cheer me up, or we'll go for Frappuccino, McDonald's. Actually, we haven't done that in quite a while. Lynn, I'm sure you're going to be watching this at some point. We need Frappuccinos. So yeah, Lynn and I would have our wee road trips and stuff, and we have a great laugh together, and it really, really brightens my day to have Lynn come over, and yeah, we just have great crack together. And she's so supportive. I mean, there's days where obviously I am just not up to do the things that we'd wanted to do, so, and she'll just sit back and go, okay, that's fine, we'll sit and we'll do this, we'll just chill, that's fine, don't worry. And that's what I love. And my family's the same, you know, I have a really supportive family, and that's a really important thing, guys. You really need to have a support network around you, and you need to let them know exactly what you need from them. It's funny, my sister actually said that to me recently. If you don't tell me, I don't know that you need it. And it's so true, because sometimes we forget to tell people that we need help, that we want help, that we are alone, or that we're stuck, and we just need that something. It doesn't matter what it is, you know, we always need something. So just make sure you've got a good support network around you, because that's something that's kept me going. And my husband, God bless him, I mean, I don't know how he lives with me. It's been one health issue after another this past 9 years, but he's stuck around 9 years. Yeah, I think he deserves a medal. Thomas, if you're ever watching this, mwah, I love you, you're amazing. And his parents, oh gosh, I mean, my parents are absolutely fantastic and would do anything to help me, but it's amazing to be accepted into a family and be a sick person and have a father-in-law who will just arrive at the drop of a hat to take you to an appointment, or to take you to the shop if you need something. It's been something that's really blessed my heart this past year. I mean, he's always done things for me and I've always been so grateful, but this past year it's really meant so much more to me, because I've realised my limitations. And that's obviously one of the most important things, is realising the things that you actually cannot do. So once you've realised the things that you cannot do, it's obviously working out, sorry guys, I need to adjust. It's working out what you actually can do each day, and anything that you can't do, don't beat yourself up about it, because there's no point. You're just going to make yourself feel even worse if you kick yourself for not being able to clean the floors, do the ironing, vacuum the floors, you know, things like that. I learned not to beat myself up over it, and because at the end of the day, it's still going to be there tomorrow, and if you're feeling better, well, why not do it tomorrow? You need to look after your health, and that's one of the most important things. I mean, I've seen a time where if I had a good day, I would do the ironing, I would clean the kitchen, clean the bathroom, sort out the bedrooms, and then I would sit on the floor and I would cry and cry and cry, and I probably wouldn't be able to move for days. And I know I probably don't do as much housework as I really should be doing for being a housewife, but unfortunately that's just not the way it works anymore. But again, it comes back to the very, very understanding and amazing husband that I have, that he is there to look after me. And I do my best to look after him, you know, with having his uniform ready and making dinners as much as I can. Obviously, these days it's more oven things that I can just put in, put a timer on and go and sit down again. It's not the same dinners as it used to be, you know. I can't always stand and stare and chop and do all that sort of thing that I mean, I love all that. I love proper nice big dinners, but it's just not as easy as that anymore, because I do need to just sit down as soon as I've done anything. I mean, as to how fibromyalgia affects my daily life, from the moment I get up in the morning, I have to evaluate just how much pain I'm in, what parts of my body it's in, what I actually have planned for the day. Am I going to be able to do that? Do I have to cancel my plans? Do I have to be that person again that sends the text to say, look, I'm really sorry, I'm in too much pain, or I'm too exhausted, or both, can we take a rain check? And I used to get so annoyed at myself for that, but I can't help it. It's one of those things that I don't know from day to day. I tend to try, if I've got plans, I try and rest up as much as I can the day before to give myself extra spoonage, let's say, for the following day to sort of live off. But it doesn't always work out that way, and sometimes you do just have to be that person that goes, I'm sorry, rain check. But again, that goes back to having the supportive people around you, and if you do have that, then bingo, they're going to understand why you're having to cancel. And even if you have supportive family around you, it's good as well to have a support group, a fibromyalgia support group. But try and not let it overpower you, because sometimes there can be a lot of negativity and it's all about the ranting and the venting about how horrible it is. There's none of the good stuff. I actually ended up starting up a group myself, and it's called Chronic Pain and Fatigue Conditions, and it's on Facebook. So if you have, even if you don't have fibromyalgia but you suffer from chronic pain and fatigue of any sort, arthritis, lupus, ME, MS, any of those things, head over and join. I'll put a link in the down bar just so that you can find it. And my reason for that was I wanted people to be able to come to a place that felt like family, to talk about the good times as well as the bad, so that people know that there is good days. It doesn't always have to be bad. So, I mean, the group's going great, and there's some lovely, lovely ladies there, and everybody chats and everybody talks about their day and what they're up to and how they're feeling, and it feels so, it does feel like a family, and I love it. I mean, I'm loving watching it grow as well. And hopefully people will get to see my videos and be able to watch, and hopefully my videos will help anybody who's going through the same sort of thing to understand that they're not alone. One of the reasons that I decided to do this video was obviously because we all get the information from the doctors and the consultants and the rheumatologists and everything, but that's all clinical, it's all science words. For me, I didn't really have anybody apart from Sue to tell me what it was like to have fibromyalgia. So that's why I want to share this with you, and I want to get other people to join in with that. So I have a few people that I'm going to ask to answer some questions. I'm hoping some of them will do video responses, but even if they don't want to, I'll have it all written down and I'll post it in the video so that you can see what their responses were. And if you're one of those people who actually wants to get involved and answer those questions, leave me a comment down below and I'll contact you just about the questions, or head on over to the Facebook fan page and send me a wee message there. Again, details will be down below for that as well. But definitely I want to get more information out for you, and even if it's not fibromyalgia, even if it's lupus, ME, MS, any form of arthritis, anything like that that anybody suffers from. I know there's so many more chronic pain conditions, I can't even think of what they are. But if you suffer from any of those, just if you say, Sorry, try that again. If you send a wee message just to say, look, I suffer from this, can we talk about this? And what I'll do is I'll ask other people who suffer from that as well, and I'll compile a video about that condition, because I don't just want this to be just about fibromyalgia. I want it to be about all health conditions in that sort of way. So if there's anything that you want to get out there, send me a wee message and we'll see what we can do for you. So moving on, one of the questions I have beaming out in front of me here is, will I get better? I don't know. People have asked me that so many times, I don't know whether I'll get better. The doctors say it could be a flare-up that'll ease off and I'll be able to live a normal life and maybe have flare-ups from time to time. Some people go for years without them. But then there's the unfortunate people who have actually just suffered day in, day out for the rest of their lives with the chronic pain. It's been just over a year now, as I said earlier, 13 months that I've been suffering like this. So I don't know whether I'll get better. I'm generally positive that I will. One of the other things I haven't touched on is actually, I'm just noticing, getting a wee bit worse at the minute, is fibrofog or cognitive dysfunction. And that is, it's one of the hardest things for me to get my head around, because I used to be the type of person that I could talk and talk and talk for hours. I mean, I was a salesperson, I was a tele-salesperson, and I just talked all day. 9-hour shifts was constant talking. And now I get 10 minutes and I'm babbling, my words aren't coming out properly, I'm slowing down, and it's really frustrating whenever you're trying to say words and you're either stuttering or the word doesn't come to you. The simplest of words. I mean, I can remember sitting on the phone to the doctor saying, I need you to renew, oh gosh, what's it called? What do you call that thing? And you send it to work. You have to sign it. What do you call that thing? Sick line. Yes, it's a sick line. And I was like, it's the simplest of thing. You know, it's words that I've known for most of my life. Sick line. That's it. And it's things like that. You know, I was standing the other day in the garden talking to my mum and dad, and I was pointing at something going, I wish I could have got that cleaned up, that thing over there. Mum goes, what are you talking about? And I went, what do you call it? And I was standing and getting really frustrated with myself pointing at this thing, and my mum walked down the garden and she went, the barbecue? Seriously guys, barbecue. I couldn't get the word for barbecue. Oh, it's times like that when you do just want to scream. However, we get on with it. But that is, I mean, it's one of the things that frustrates me. What I'm going to do is I'll give more information on cognitive dysfunction, because it is a whole bundle of stuff that comes with it. I just call it fibrofog and get on with it, where my brain focuses on something for 2 seconds and then it's, oh, what's that going happening over there? You know, I feel like I've ADHD these days. So what I'll do is, instead of talking about it here, I'm going to post about it over on the fan page, so I'll send a link to that once I've done it. I haven't actually done it yet, but I will soon. So I mean, if you haven't already, head over to the fan page and like it so that you can keep up to date with that sort of stuff as well. What else have we got to talk about? Advice. We all get that advice from the people who don't understand it, or the know-it-alls as I call them. Ignore it. You know, whenever people tell you all you need to do is get up and exercise and you'll feel much better, or get yourself back into work, you'll feel much better in a few weeks. Lose a bit of weight. Oh, I've always loved that one. I'm sure some of you do as well. I have lost weight. I've lost quite a bit of weight and I'm still in agony. Tell me, what am I doing? So anyway, ignore them. Nobody knows your body better than you do. So you know exactly how you're feeling, how your body is affecting you. Don't let anybody else tell you how to live. I'm not sure if I've missed anything out. I mean, I think I've talked about everything that I really want to. If there is anything I've missed, it'll probably be tacked on to the end of this. So you'll probably not even see this comment. So I could just go blah 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 blah. I'll probably just leave that in anyway. Shows you how mental I am. So anyway, this actually is getting a wee bit longer than I actually anticipated, so it's probably going to end up a two-parter. So guys, I think that's all I want to talk about for today. Unfortunately, just with the battery dying earlier and having to start the filming all over again, I'm actually really exhausted now. And it's just gone 10 o'clock, so I'm actually going to try and head to bed, because after not getting any sleep last night, I'm hoping I get some tonight. So guys, I'll probably actually upload this in the morning, so it'll be Friday morning that you're watching this. So if I don't speak to you on Facebook, have a lovely weekend guys, and I will catch up with you at the start of the week. Love you all. Mwah. Bye.